Hola, hola estudiantes, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, ¿qué tal? A ver, let's do a grammar review, okay? In chapter 2, we are exploring three topics in terms of grammar, okay? Number 1 will be the, the agreement between adjectives and nouns. Okay. Bien, so it's important to know that every word that is describing a noun, and let's make a pause here. Let's stop for a second and let's think about what is a noun. Okay. So I want you to take a look around your surroundings. Okay. What do you see? Probably you're going to see ventanas, puertas, libros, computadoras, tabletas, lápices, everything that you can see, those items, those are going to be your nouns, okay? And those nouns are going to have a description, okay? It could be grande, big, small, pequeño, or it could have a color. Verde, ¿verdad? Por ejemplo, la planta es verde, ¿ok? La estantería es marrón, ¿sí? La ventana es blanca, you see? So then you have a word that is describing the item, and that's an adjective. In Spanish, we have to make sure that our adjectives agree in terms of number and gender, okay? Por ejemplo, tengo una feminine, ventana feminine, blanca feminine, you see? My adjective is feminine, my noun is feminine, and my article is feminine. Everything is feminine, okay? Now, if I make that plural, then it becomes everything plural. Mis plantas son, that's the plural form of the verb, verdes. Okay, let's imagine that I have several of these ventanas. Las ventanas son is the plural form, son blancas. You see? So everything will be plural. So that's about the agreement in terms of noun and gender. Okay? Now let's talk about actions. ¿Verdad? So, las acciones son actions, son verbos, ¿verdad? Las acciones son verbos. And a verb, the function of a verb is basically to describe that, actions. There are a few exceptions, okay? So, the general meaning of verbs is a word that is expressing action, but also a word that is expressing a state. So that's why when we say yo estoy bien, estoy is the verb and it's not expressing action, it's expressing a state. Okay, estoy bien, estoy mal, estoy enferma, ¿verdad? Estoy bien, I'm well, estoy enferma, I'm sick, ¿verdad? Estoy contenta o estoy contento. Remember, contento, contenta is an adjective. It's describing how I feel. So I am a noun, okay? So my adjective has to agree. Estoy contenta because I'm female, ¿verdad? And I want to identify myself as female. So, estoy contenta, Estoy triste. ¿Ok? Estoy triste. I'm sad. Bien. Em, so, let's go back to actions. Las acciones. En la página 56, we have a list of 12 actions. Bailar, caminar, to walk, ¿verdad? Cantar, la cantante, remember cantante from Profesiones? Comprar, to buy things, ¿verdad? Descansar is to rest, ¿verdad? Descansar, to rest. Escuchar, to listen to something, ¿verdad? To listen to music, por ejemplo. Escucho música, me gusta. Let's forget about me gusta for now, okay? Bien, and then estudiar, to study. Estudiar, yo estudio mucho. Hablar, to talk. Mandar is to send. Mandar un correo electrónico, an email, ¿verdad? Eh, Pasear is to take a walk. Caminar y pasear son dos acciones diferentes. Caminar is when I move from point one to point B and I walk. But pasear is to enjoy that walk from point A to B. So pasear is like pasear por el parque, ¿verdad? To go for a walk and enjoy nature, enjoy the surroundings, ¿verdad? And then trabajar is to work, ¿verdad? Y viajar is to travel, okay? Viajar. Now, those are the actions. And now that you know what they mean, now it's time for you to start digesting how to use them because they belong to AR group. In Spanish, we have three groups, AR, ER, and IR. Today, we're going to talk about AR only. Um, we need to know how they behave. Okay, so imagine that hablar, which is to talk, is the name of the family. Let's make like a comparison. So to start organizing these ideas, these concepts. So hablar is like the name of the family, ¿verdad? The last name. Por ejemplo, Rivera, yo soy Rivera, ¿verdad? And then we mention the members of that particular family. Por ejemplo, when I do the action, which is first person, I must use the verb in the yo form, okay, in that particular form. So what will be the yo form? I'm going to eliminate AR and then I'm going to plug in an O. That will work 99% of the time. Every time that you have an infinitive form, which is the basic form, the family member, the family name, then you eliminate that ending and then you plug in the O, and that's the yo form. 99% of the time, remember. Okay. The other 1% is an exception, and we have seen the exceptions already. Soy, but still it has the O, okay, but it's not at the end. And then estoy, ¿verdad? So those are the exceptions. The rest, O at the end, okay? So if I give you the verb, for example, cantar, then the yo form will be canto, bailo for bailar, caminar, camino, comprar, compro, descansar, descanso, and so on. Trabajo, viajo, paseo. Once you're done with the O and the yo form, incorporate the we form, which is the nosotros. You are part of that group, but you are not alone. You're together in a group, ¿verdad? With other people. So It will be then, the ending, it will be amos. Hablamos. Hablamos español. Hablamos español. Bailar. Bailamos. Estudiamos. And that's the we form. Now, let's move on to the to form. Okay, the to form is the you form. Okay, and it's singular. So, what do? We add an S. We eliminate the R. Okay, and then we add an S. Tú bailas. Tú caminas. Tú cantas. Tú estudias. ¿Estudias español? Sí, estudio español. ¿Sí? So if I'm asking you, when you reply, you have to use the yo form. Now, what will be the tú form in plural? You, all. In America Latina, we don't use that form, okay? But in Spain is used, okay? Because that's the informal one. In America Latina, we don't use the informal one. We use instead the formal one, and we will wait for that one. So let me give you the to form in plural, which is vosotros or vosotras. And it's mainly, as I said, is mainly used in Spain. And it will be bailáis. Vosotros bailáis. Vosotros habláis. Vosotros camináis, ¿verdad? Vosotros, and then what you have to do is eliminate AR and then plug in eyes. A con acento y S. Okay? Bien. Now let's move to the usted form, which is the formal approach to say you. Okay? We use the tú when we're talking to our friends, with people that we know, with kids, with our parents. But when we talk to people that we don't know and we want to show respect, then we use the usted form. Por ejemplo, if you're talking to a judge, to a doctor, okay, to a professor, a client in particular, when we are in that kind of situation that we have a client, we must use the usted form, okay, to show respect and show that our business is formal, you see? Bien, so usted habla, usted camina, usted viaja, usted trabaja. Okay, so we don't have an S at the end. The usted can be plural, and that's the one that we use in America Latina to say you all, ustedes. Ustedes bailan, and then we add an. Ustedes bailan, ustedes caminan, ustedes estudian. You see? And finally, we have the he or the she form. Él, ella. That's third person. And the good news is that they're going to share the same form that we used in the usted form for singular, and in plural, it will be also the same. Okay? A ver, so él baila, ella baila. And then the plural of él o ella will be ellos, ellas, they. Okay? They dance. Ellos bailan or ellas bailan. Okay? It's important that when you have the usted or ella and el form, you add the name or um, the pronoun, because when we have the same conjugation of the verb for more than one, then we have to make the distinction. We have to be more specific. Okay, we cannot use the verb by itself like we do when we deal with the yo form. For example, I can say bailo mucho. I dance a lot. By saying bailo mucho, I'm using the yo form, but I don't need, it's not a requirement, I'm sorry, to say yo. Okay, it's not, it's redundant in Spanish. So, but if I use bailan or baila by itself, then I have three options. Okay, it could be the formal approach, ¿verdad? Of you, or it could be third person. So then I have to let my reader or the person who I'm talking to, who is the doer, who is doing the action. Okay. Bien. So it's important that you practice. This is basically the crucial part of our course. How to conjugate. If you're able to manage how to conjugate verbs, you have a big step completed already. Okay. Halfway basically done or more. I will say more. Why? Because by saying, for example, one verb well conjugated, you could have a sentence. Okay. Trabajo, that's it. Trabajo los lunes. Trabajo mañana. Trabajo el mes de agosto. And by saying trabajo, viajo, could be a sentence. Okay. Bien, chicos. And then the last part will be a verb that we already saw. And it's not considered AR verb. It's considered an irregular verb. Okay. But it has some connections with AR. So take advantage of that. Take a look at patterns, identify things that have a pattern, and organize them in that way because it's easier for you to remember. Okay. Bien. So estar. We have been using estar to talk about how well we feel. And that's basically the first question that we ask a person when we see that person. ¿Cómo estás? And then we reply, estoy bien, estoy mal, estoy enfermo o estoy enferma, estoy contento o estoy contenta. This is basically to tell another person how we feel. So I want you to connect the verb estar with feelings, how you feel in this particular period of time, how you feel. Estoy contenta, ¿verdad? Estoy triste. I'm sad. And usually, those feelings, those emotions are connected to a specific situation because of something. I feel happy today because something happened. Maybe I saw the person that I like, maybe I got an A. So that makes me feel more happy if I'm a happy person, you see, happier. um, so I'm expressing how I feel in that particular period of time. So that's what I want you to um, connect with this. And then we also going to use estar to talk about location, location, location. And we have seen already some places. Por ejemplo, la calle, ¿verdad? The street. La universidad, ¿verdad? La, el salón de clases, la casa, ¿sí? So now you're able to express your location. ¿Dónde estás? And then to ask, ¿verdad? Your location, then we have to say ¿dónde? Where? ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde estás? Estoy en la casa. Estoy en la universidad. Estoy en la calle, ¿verdad? Estoy en la cama también, ¿sí? Bien. So that's basically what we learned this today, ¿verdad? Make sure that you identify those forms of start that you haven't seen and pay a lot of attention to them. Like, for example, estamos o están, ¿verdad? Estáis, and then practice, ¿ok?